Did you know that discussing politics makes you dumb? It makes your brain function worse. It makes your thinking sloppy. Not just that. Everyone knows that politics makes your logic bad, but it also makes your maths bad.
But how does politics make your maths bad and your logic worse and your brain dumb, Naveen? The nation wants to know.
Well, good thing the nation will be given research results. Okay. So there is research by Dan Kahan, a scientist who works on this topic.
Okay.
And let's look at what this research is. Okay.
All right.
So the numbers you see on the screen are talking about the effectiveness of a skin cream for improving a rash.
For people who are listening to this, the image that Naveen is talking about, you'll find a link to it in the description. It's a fairly big image with multiple numbers. So just take a look at it when you get a chance.
The first column is people whose rash got better, and the second column is people whose rash didn't get better. Right?
Okay.
So basically, top row 223 is the number of patients who used the skin cream and their rash got better. 75 is the number of people who used the skin cream but their rash didn't get better. 107 is the patients who didn't use the skin cream but still their rash got better. And 21 is the ones who didn't use the cream and their rash obviously didn't get better. Right? In his research, Dan Kahan showed this table to subjects and asked them whether, based on this data, the skin cream worked or did not work. Unfortunately, most people got it wrong, but the people who were good at math, they got it right.
Okay, just for the understanding of the audience, what is the right answer here?
The expected answer is that the skin cream doesn't work because the percentage of people who got better using it is lower than the percentage of people who got better not using it.
And that is the right answer according to the maths involved in the situation.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that most people probably didn't get the answer right because they did not understand this math bit and the science and the general understanding of randomized control trials and how they work and what's the statistics behind it.
And the general impression we have is that if we increase people's awareness, if we teach them about the science involved and if we teach them the necessary math, once they are well informed, then they will reach the correct decision.
Which is also part of what we are trying to do here with this channel. We are trying to educate people more about science and math.
Not in this episode. Okay. This episode is about something else. Okay.
All right.
The research continues.
Oh, okay.
He took the same table. Okay. And he showed it to people, but this time, instead of saying that it is a skin cream used for improving a rash, he said it is gun control laws used for reducing crime. Top row is states where the gun control laws were implemented and bottom row is where it was not implemented. Would you like to guess what happened?
I'm guessing all logic went out of the window.
Basically, the people who knew the math, right, and who got it right, now started getting it wrong.
Oh.
And the reason is because gun control laws are a heavily political issue in US where this research was conducted.
Yeah.
Republicans are pro-guns and Democrats are pro-gun control. Right?
Yeah.
So what happened was that as soon as the problem was changed, being good at math didn't help anymore. Right? The people good at math were as bad at this as the people not good at math. In fact, what determined whether you're going to get it correct or wrong is your politics, whether you like this result or you don't, right?
That is so strange.
Right? I mean, this particular one, liberals got this problem wrong because it says gun control doesn't help and the conservatives got it right. But when he flipped the numbers, now the liberals got it right and the conservatives got it wrong, right?
So it was basically about looking for the results you wanted.
Absolutely. But, and here is the most interesting part.
Okay.
The better somebody was at math, the more they got it wrong.
What?
Okay. The smarter you are, the dumber politics makes you.
How? Okay, this blows my mind.
Right.
How?
So obviously this is a mind-blowing point.
Yeah.
So Kahan did further research
Okay.
to try to understand this better. Kahan had another scientific study to understand this part.
Okay.
Okay. In this study, what he did was ask a lot of questions to the subjects to try to understand two things. One is how well read they are with respect to science, so scientific literacy. And second is how well they understand the risks of climate change. Okay. And he did a correlation and he found that the people who are better read, have more scientific literacy, are worse at understanding the risks of climate change.
Okay.
Right?
What?
Now, why does this happen?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, keep in mind that both sides have lots of facts and figures and graphs and charts. Okay? I understand the scientifically wrong side has mostly wrong or irrelevant data.
Yes.
But still, there is lots of data and there are lots of so-called studies. Right?
Okay.
And one thing we like to say on this channel is believing is seeing, right? So if you believe that climate change is not a problem, right? You will only trust the data that says climate change is not a problem, and you will ignore the data that says climate change is a problem, right? And the better your scientific literacy, where we are defining literacy as just having read a lot, right? Not having really understood it.
Yeah.
So better your scientific literacy, more charts and graphs you can trot out to support your ideology.
But why not listen to the experts? Just that much will do, right?
Right. Good thing you asked this question. Kahan did another study on this. Okay. Obviously, the same question got asked. Why don't we just trust the experts?
Yeah.
Right. Question is which expert to believe. Both sides have experts, and he did another experiment, right? People were given information about accomplished scientists, okay? Their biographies, their achievements, their credentials, and a summary of their results, okay? Then people were asked, is this person an expert? Would you like to guess what happened?
Based on the summary of their achievements and their biography.
No, wrong direction. People looked at the result. If it didn't agree with their politics, they said this guy is not an expert. And if it agreed with their politics, they said this is an expert.
But scientific results.
If the result says climate change is bad, not an expert. If the result says climate change is good, this is an expert, right? So believing is seeing.
And people will always be dumb. Please don't tell me that. People will...
Only in matters that get politicized, right? There is disagreement on climate change in the US. There is disagreement on homeopathy in India because these are politicized topics. But there is no disagreement on is drinking bad for you, is junk food bad for you. There is agreement because these are neutral topics. They don't attack your political identity, right? So,
but why are some topics neutral and other topics so politically? What makes topics neutral and what makes other topics politicized?
Right. So it doesn't start like that. Okay. But political leaders are always trying to find issues in which you can make a big us versus them speech. You want to get your people angry about something. Do you know why? Because when you are angry, you bind more closely to the people closest to you, your tribe.
Yeah.
Either when you are angry or when you are afraid. So a lot of what politicians do are trying to make you angry or afraid of them. And for that you need some topic. Right? And you need new topics every time. So you politicize the issues, right? You say that this is an us topic and they don't believe in it.
Yeah, create two tribes essentially.
Right.
Everything comes down to tribalization. Create us versus them.
And then what happens is that them, even if they didn't believe in it initially, they start seeing that this tribe doesn't believe in it, so we have to take the opposite. And then it's, it's called a shelling sort. Maybe someday we will talk about shelling sorts. But yeah, that's how it happens, right?
But why does everything come down to tribalization? How does tribalization work so well, quote unquote well?
Because evolution has taught humans to be tribal. Okay? People want to be with their tribe, right? In the African savannah, right?
We are back.
If you were not part of a group, you know what you were called?
Dead.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, all the other animals were faster than us, had better claws, better teeth. And if we were not part of a group,
we were dead.
Dead. Either you would become prey to a predator or you wouldn't be able to catch or hunt or find your food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you had to be part of a group. Now there are actual experiments, even we have done an episode, which show that when humans are forced to choose between being right versus being with the group, where it means that being right means you're going to get thrown out of the group, people will choose being wrong with the group, right?
Yeah.
So we are tribal people, and that is like one of the most fundamental things about how our brain works, right?
Is true. So it looks like the answer to this entire conundrum about politics making us dumb is to not be smart.
It is okay to be smart.
Okay.
Just don't be informed
What?
about political things, right? Because the political parts are going to make, the more informed you are, it is going to make you dumb, right?
Okay.
Because the old theory used to be that the more informed you are, the more you know what's going on in the world, the more news you read, the better off you are and you will take better decisions. But what this episode shows, and we have another episode on why news is bad for you,
Yeah.
is that the more you get informed about politicized issues, you are going to make dumber decisions, right?
Yeah.
So stay away from those things, right?
Yeah.
In fact, for such issues, it is better to have experts make the decision, okay? But we don't choose the experts, right? Because we choose the wrong experts. So institutions should be choosing the experts, right?
Okay.
That is why RBI works so well. I mean, people try to politicize it, but by and large, it's an institution of experts chosen through a neutral mechanism, and that's why it works better. So we should have more professionalism and less populism.
So basically, depoliticized institutions is what you're recommending.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, not politicized institutions. But also, I don't want to say completely that don't get involved in politics.
Yeah, because it's difficult given the current climate and whatnot.
Remember, we have an episode on preference falsification, which is that if you just hide your true feelings, what might happen is that you'll end up in a situation where your entire tribe, internally they believe X, but externally they think everyone else believes Y, so everyone believes Y, and you don't want that to happen.
If so, everybody hides their true feelings and goes with the flow, then the flow might not be what everybody wants.
Exactly. So you should gently disagree once in a while.
Okay.
And you might find others who are on your side.
Okay.
And over time, then the preferences can shift or the preferences can become depoliticized. If your tribe, half the people feel this way and half the people feel the other way, then you realize it's not a political issue for us, right?
Okay. Question here, is it better to wait for the issue to get depoliticized, or is it better to keep disagreeing gently and sort of try and depoliticize the issue yourself?
See, I feel that my 97-3 rule should be applied here, right? For 97% of the things, let it go, it is not important enough, right? But for the 3% that are really, really important to you, there you should speak out.
So whenever it comes to homeopathy, we will always say it's a pseudoscience, it's not whatever. Please don't. Just don't.
So just to summarize the episode, I think smart people become dumb when politics gets involved. Smart people on the other side of your politics, right? Just to be aware of what is going on. That's the way to not become dumb like everyone else.
And if you're worried about what becoming dumb like everyone else causes, then we have an episode lined up for you. Check it out. It's about group conformism. Wonderful episode.
Yes.
Shrikant, Naveen.
Thank you.
FutureIQ.